Hello friends, welcome to Brush Up IQ. Today I am going to discuss about rule of law. As you know that the rule of law is one of the main components of democracy. The rule of law means that all people and institutions are subject to and accountable to law that is fairly applied and enforced. The first proponent of the doctrine of the rule of law are believed to be Greek philosophers Aristotle, Plato, and Cicero. The modern day concept of rule of law was originated by Sir Edward Coke. Later on, Professor A.V. Dicey developed the Cook's concept and composed his own idea. According to Dicey, there are three principles of rule of law. These are supremacy of law, equality before law, and predominance of legal spirit. Another thinker, Professor Wade, expressed the rule of law requires that the government should be subject to the law rather than the law subject to the government. The aim of rule of law, like other constitutional principles, is the uplifting of freedom and fundamental rights of the citizen. The rule of law has propounded to make sure that the executive does not use the law to oppress or curtail freedom of individuals as they are found in the Bill of Rights. Although the term rule of law is nowhere in the Indian Constitution, but the spirit of the Constitution is based on the principle of rule of law. In India, it is regarded as a part of the basic structure of the Constitution. Therefore, it cannot be abrogated or destroyed even by the Parliament. The Constitution of India intended for India to be a country governed by the rule of law. It provides that the Constitution shall be the supreme power in the land, and legislative and the executive derive their authority from the Constitution. Under the Indian Constitution, the rule of law is incorporated in many of its provisions. For example, you can say the preamble of Indian Constitution. The word equality, liberty, and justice are reflected as the component of rule of law. The concept of rule of law is enshrined in Part 3 of the Constitution of India. Article 13 of the Indian Constitution is an example which upheld the doctrine of rule of law in India. The laws defined under Article 13 as rules, regulations, bylaws, and ordinance can be struck down if they are contrary to the Constitution of India. Article 14 of the Constitution, the concept of rule of law has been adopted. According to Article 14, the state shall not deny to any person equality before the law or the equal protection of law within the territory of India. The Constitution of India has granted the right to equality to all of its citizens. All are equal before the law, and there can be no discrimination on the basis of religion, race, caste, gender, place of birth, etc. Again, Article 19 of the Constitution provides various freedoms to the citizens of India, such as freedom of speech and expression, assembly, movement, residence and settlement, profession and occupation, etc. are also run on the principle of rule of law, as these freedoms can be curtailed by the state on the grounds of reasonableness. Again, Article 21 expresses that the state has no power to deprive a person of his life and liberty without the authority of law. So we have seen many provisions of Indian Constitution which is based on the principles of rule of law. The fundamental principles of rule of law is that every human being, even if he is a criminal or accused of crimes, are entitled to basic human rights. And this rule of law is fundamental principles of governance in any civilized democratic country. So a democratic country prides itself on the rule of law. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much.